Ever dreamed of a life where your skills are sought after and the cash flow is amazing? Then become an airshow pilot. In this video, I'll show you how to go from zero flight time to hero pilot, doing the most dangerous job on the planet. You can make $1 million as an airshow pilot.
This is what you've been working for.
If you start with 2 and know when to quit.
Number 2 regret that they had, believe it or not, was they wish they'd spent more money when they were younger.
According to the International Council of Airshows, there are 329 airshow pilots in the United States and Canada. And in the past 20 years, an average of 2 pilots per year were killed in crashes. That's down from an average of 3.5 over the past 35 years. Is there any job where almost 1% of the workers get killed every year? There isn't. At one point, I called my insurance agent and asked if my life insurance policy covered this.
You serious?
When I started flying, there was no aspiration to become an airshow pilot. I was happy being a regular pilot until I tried aerobatics in a decathlon, which is just a gateway drug. That turned into regular use and the pursuit of competition aerobatics, which became an addiction. I eventually developed a tolerance and needed to take more risks and seek stronger effects. It became a hardcore addiction when I got my PITS S2B and I ultimately pursued an airshow career. Here's me explaining that journey to a group of pilots who invited me to regale them with tales from my adventures. In the hangar next door is an airshow pilot named Bill Cornick. Maybe you've heard of him. He's local, Southern California, flies a white and green Pitts. Bill checked me out in my plane. And over the years, we got to be friends. He goes to air shows. Bill said, "You want to come with me and be my crew?" "Sure, I'd love to. I'd love to go help you with the airplane at air shows." Hook, line, and sinker, right in. So what did I learn from hanging out with Bill Cornick, who's only been doing air shows for 30 years, who's got more time in the pits than most people alive? What did I learn? If you do aerobatic contests, you spend a lot of money. All your fellow pilots and friends critique you. Not only they critique you, they write down how bad your flying is and give you a sheet that says how bad it is. And if you do really well, you get a $2 trophy after spending thousands of dollars. But if you go to air shows, you don't have to fly perfect. Contests are about precision. Airshow flying is about smoke and noise and fun. The loop doesn't have to be perfectly round. So you can go up there, you can be sort of sloppy, as long as you have good discipline. You put smoke and noise in the air. When you land, everybody claps, and before you go home, they give you a check. Now, I will tell you, zeros on a check are way better than zeros on a score sheet. And that's how I became an airshow pilot. One of the coolest things about being an airshow pilot is you sign autographs and give motivational talks to kids. If you were starting in 2024 with zero flight time, you would have to first become a private pilot, then a commercial pilot, get your tailwheel endorsement, and acquire a suitable aerobatic plane for airshow flying. My journey was based on the PITS Special. However, many people prefer a composite monoplane, such as an Extra 330. As you start this new business venture, know that we are living in a time where airshow cancellations are increasing every year due to budget constraints and lack of sponsorship dollars. With fewer shows to go around, pilots are ruthlessly competing for what is available and at ever-decreasing pay rates. If you're still watching, great! Let's begin with startup costs, then I'll cover how to get that airshow money into your pocket. There are many ways to become an airshow pilot, and everyone's journey is unique. For this case study, I gathered current average costs for plane rental and instruction to build a pro forma financial analysis showing rough order of magnitude of one potential roadmap. Your private pilot certificate will cost approximately $14,500 for 50 hours of flight time. To fly for pay, you'll need to be a commercial rated pilot, but you can't get the commercial certificate until you have 250 hours and some other specific requirements for cross-country and a few other things. However, you could start working on those requirements in a Cessna and your tailwheel endorsement and start learning aerobatics in a decathlon right away, so you're not wasting time. The commercial rating will cost another $55,000 to $60,000 in aircraft rentals, instruction, and fees. So now you have 250 hours, a commercial pilot certificate, a tailwheel endorsement, and some introductory knowledge of basic aerobatics. It's enough to go to an aerobatic contest and fly primary or sportsman. There's just one problem. It's almost impossible to rent a tailwheel plane solo, which means you either have to find a partnership to join that has one or buy your own plane. In terms of experience and skills, you still have a lot to learn about aerobatics and are not ready to get closer to the ground. In fact, you are unsafe below 2,500 feet. Even if you can afford a high-performance plane such as a Pitts or Extra, you can't get insurance yet to fly it and still need a high-performance endorsement for anything with over 200 horsepower. Add another 5 hours for a Cessna 182 at $330 plus instructor, so that's about $2,000. Assuming you find a decathlon situation and pay by the hour, you'll spend the next 2 years improving your skills and fly 250 hours at $230 plus some advanced instruction and expert coaching. Plus, going to contests, staying in hotels, etc. So that's about another $75,000. Now you have 500 hours, are a pretty good aerobatic contest pilot, plenty of tailwheel time. You're ready to upgrade to a high-performance aerobatic plane and have your mind set on an Extra 330. Two-seat planes are better for new airshow pilots because you can give media rides at shows and that will help you get bookings. You should make a 10-year plan for this new venture because it will take several years to ramp up. You will spend $400,000 all in on a decent used Extra, including some upgrades you'll need like a smoke system. On top of that, you'll need insurance for around $9,000 per year, a hangar for $6,000 per year, and plan on $20,000 per year for maintenance, including the big 1,000-hour inspection that's required on the Extra, and a few prop overhauls every few years. I 100% guarantee that if you have an aerobatic plane for that long, you'll also need to overhaul the engine, at least once. So that's another $50,000. If you fly 150 hours per year, you'll burn an average of 15 gallons of avgas per hour, so that's around $13,000 a year. Don't forget marketing costs, because you'll need to shoot a bunch of videos and maintain a social media presence and go to the ICAST conference in December at a minimum. So there's another $10,000 each year. That covers most of it. And all that free time you used to have when not in the office doing your actual job is now being consumed by your plane and the airshow business. So you'll need to buy your wife a little something she can run around town in getting groceries and taking the kids to soccer and ballet. Let's add another $150,000 to the startup cost. So, it's been a year since you got your new plane and have diligently worked on your airshow aerobatics and been signed off by an airshow competency evaluator with an initial 800-foot waiver. If you're lucky, in year 2, you'll get 1 or 2 shows at small local airports, each paying a few $1,000s. Great! Air shows will likely pay $3,000 to $7,000 for an act, with higher rates going to more experienced pilots that have worked their way down to lower altitudes. They will give you gas, smoke oil, a hotel room, and a rental car, and expect you to fly once or twice per air show day and deliver 2 to 4 media flights. You'll get more air shows each year as your experience grows and you get better known around the industry. By year 5, you should be able to get at least a half a dozen shows, with some at larger venues. Depending on how far you're willing to travel and incur those costs, you could ramp up to 10 shows per year eventually. So where does the profit and loss stand? Well, it took several years and over $500,000 to get to the point where you had the experience, skills, and right plane to start charging for your airshow pilot services. Based on the 10-year plan that started when you got that Extra, you have 9 years to go. Year 3, you did 2 shows and made $7,000. Years 4 to 6, you did 4 shows and made $16,000 per year. Years 7 to 10, you did 7 shows each year and made $35,000. So that's $198,000 in income. And that's how an airshow pilot makes $1 million disappear.